We just went out and did a partial harvest of our tomatoes this morning, and I think we've got a few candidates that might break the 2 pound mark. If you remember from our last video, and if you haven't seen it, make sure you go back and watch it. We hit 1.99 pounds on a tomato. It's so close to 2 pounds, but we didn't make it. And we're always looking for that first 2+ pounder of the year because it's always so exciting. So let's weigh a few tomatoes. Let's talk about a couple of tomatoes, and let's see what we've got. Generally, some of our biggest tomatoes are Amana Orange, Pink Brandywine, Hungarian Heart. We've had several Hungarian Hearts that make it over 1.5 pounds. And Big Rainbow, Hillbilly Potato Leaf. I've had several 1.5, 1.7 pound, 1 3/4 pound Hillbilly Potato Leaves this year. So those are great ones to look at. And I've got a red Brandywine. Matter of fact, Tiffany, let's pull that red Brandywine off the shelf over here. These have already been checked, so we know these are not over 2 pounds, but this is a red Brandywine we picked this week. They are just gorgeous tomatoes, along with the pink Brandywines. Brandywines are hard to grow. Tomato leaves are a pain in the neck.
Potato leaves.
What'd I say?
Tomato leaves.
Oh, yeah, okay. My bad. We got 1.54 pounds. Can you see that, Tiffany?
Yep.
So we got 1.54 pounds on that red Brandywine. We'll be saving seeds from this one, so if you're interested in seeds, we will have seeds available towards the end of the year. Probably October, we'll start putting some seeds up. Some of them will be up in September, but we start doing it in phases. Red Brandywine, where it's a potato leaf, your potato leaves are a little harder to keep pure, so you always have a chance of a little bit of cross-pollination between varieties, but that's held true for us and done real well. We will be this year isolating our peppers, so the pepper seeds will be isolated so that it 99.9% chance of no cross-pollination. But anyway, let's get started. Here we have an Amana Orange. Gorgeous tomato. They are our favorite. Having to pick them a little bit earlier. I love letting the Amana Orange ripen all the way on the vine, but we're having to pick them a little bit earlier because we're having just so much rain. The tomatoes are splitting, and of course that's just part of it, but they'll ripen on the shelf, and you'll still, where they're this ripe, you'll still get 95-98% of the flavor out of them. That extra little bit would be nice, but so there we have a 1.23 pound tomato. That is excellent, excellent, excellent. About what we figured. I figured it was a little over a pound. So you can see here we've got some cat facing on this Amana Orange. Actually, no, sorry. This was not an Amana Orange. This one was not labeled in the roll. I suspect with the colorations of this that this is a is it the Kellogg's Breakfast? It's a little bit lighter. Kellogg's Breakfast, I think. But good looking tomato. Obviously, we won't save seeds from that since we don't know what it is. So 1.52 pounds. So another 1.5 pound tomato. That's right on track with our red Brandywine. Now, here we have, these are some mortgage lifters. Look how bad this one split. But these are some mortgage lifters. This is about what size you normally get out of a mortgage lifter, but you'll always get some a little bit bigger. But just for kicks and giggles, yeah, right on track. That's a 0.59 pound, so it's a 0.6 pound tomato, which is about right on track for a mortgage lifter. And this is probably going to go about 0.7 maybe. Oh no, that went all the way 0.87, so that's almost a pounder. Now, this is a little bit abnormal for a mortgage lifter. They normally don't get quite this big. You can see, very pretty tomato. Gorgeous, just a little bit oversized. Yep, we broke a pound with that. And that's not normal. Normally a mortgage lifter is an 8 to 10 ounce tomato. So that's a little bit oversized for a mortgage lifter. All right, here is another Amana orange. It's actually getting squished. So 0.84, a little bit smaller than normal because normally they go about a pound, but that's an excellent tomato. All right, here we got a big one. This is a hefty Amana orange. Look at that. That's doesn't even really fit in my hand. I'm fingertip to palm on that. Big. So, what do you think? Are we gonna break 2 pounds?
It might. It is pretty big.
Might have another 1.99 pound tomato. 1.92 pounds.
Close.
If I hadn't had to pick it one day early, it might have made that. But I'd rather have a good tomato than a split tomato. Split's fine, but split don't keep very long. Before we get to the big one, I want to show you. These are our Costaluda Genovese. Most of them have come out very normal, but some of them have had some severe blossom fusing, which I don't mind. But Costaluda Genovese are pretty darn nice tomato. We've been very happy with them so far. The size is a little smaller than I expected, though, I have to say. This is about the standard size of them. If you're curious and wanting to grow them, this is our first year with them. This is about the standard size. They get about like that, so they make a great little slicer to put on your plate, or a couple of them to a sandwich. You know, that's a good personal size tomato. If you're not a huge tomato fan, I can go through a 1 pound tomato for meal, but they work out very great. As a matter of fact, the other night the family had Chick-fil-A, and I sit down to a 1.5 pounds of tomatoes and 3 cucumbers and 1 hot pepper, and it was delicious. It was delicious, wonderful meal. And here is a smaller. Actually, got knocked off the vine. Here is a Hungarian heart. These make great paste tomatoes, or great sandwich tomatoes. They got a great rich flavor, real meaty. But they go about that size on average, a little bit bigger. But then you can get some that's about 3 times that size. They get really big, Hungarian hearts do. All right, I've kept you waiting long enough. We actually cheated. I've already weighed this tomato because I knew it had to break 2 pounds. This is an Amana orange. As you can see, this would be what we would call normal cat facing. This is normal for heirloom beefsteak tomatoes. It's very common. This is a little more severe. And what you got here, in case you don't know what causes that type of cat facing, is this is probably this is at least 3, but this might be 4 tomatoes that the blooms fuse together. And when the blooms fuse together, they cause the tomato to grow together. Now, sometimes it can even look like a completely separate tomato, which this one almost does. If you look here, this is almost a completely separate tomato on top, but it's not. It grew together completely, but that causes these cavities. Now, the cavities don't hurt nothing other than it makes it a little bit more of a challenge to cut. To me, I love this type of tomato. I love a tomato that has the cat facing, that you get this big, huge tomato that is probably going to break 2 pounds. Actually, we already know it breaks 2 pounds. This is our first 2+ pounder of the year. We're going to show you the weight here in just a minute. We harvested the other day a Black Beauty, and this is the first Black Beauty we've ever had with this type of cat facing, blossom fusing. It really didn't have that much cat facing. It was blossom fused. Black Beauties generally don't cause too much problem with that in our experience, but we had one, and I ate it the other night with a supper. But the tomato was a U, and you get one every now and then. This was a perfect U, and it was at least 3 tomatoes fused together. We had one up this side, one on the bottom, and one up this side, and it made a perfect U with the tomato. And you could see through the tomato once we remove the stem from it. All right. Well, no further. I won't make you suffer no longer. Let's see what we got. Well, y'all can see what we got. We already know what we got. 2.16 pounds. So it's not a 2.5 pounder. We'll keep watching for the one that breaks 2.5 pounds, maybe. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I tell you what, keep watching our videos. If we break 2.5 pounds, we're going to do a seed giveaway. Whatever tomato breaks 2.5 pounds, we will save seeds from that tomato, and we will do a seed giveaway. So make sure you comment in this video underneath, like and share, and then you'll need to comment in the next one and like and share, and we will pick a winner from those people. That's it. Thank you. See you.